Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Brian from USA.Patriot.Cards, and it has been a minute. Been busy with, watching the Mavericks stink it up. And anytime your PC is playing like shit, it just makes the moves less appealing all across the board in the hobby. I really haven't done anything. I've sold a few things here and there, but it feels like eBay's dried up and dead for me. I don't do much auctioning on eBay. Most of my stuff is buy it now, so it can be slow at times. But man, I've been really aggressively pricing my items, and I keep coming down on my prices. I keep sending offers to watchers, but not much happening on that front. I think eBay is becoming less and less of an ideal place to buy and sell. There are so many other platforms. The auction spaces like PWCC and Alt and Golden are, people are learning and getting familiar with how to use those spaces. And, once you use it once or twice, it's really not as complicated or as daunting as it might seem. And I think less and less people are going to eBay to look for stuff. So that's kind of what's happening there. And then Instagram, Facebook, shows. There's just so many other places to try to get stuff and avoid that 15% that eBay likes to just take right off the top. I mean, My Slabs is a great alternative. I think if everybody would just put all their stuff on My Slabs, to take all their eBay store, put it on My Slabs, we could essentially make eBay and that 15% obsolete. But anytime that your team or your PC or a combination of both is playing poorly, it makes it hard to make moves, at least for me. Just kind of get a little bit down and want to see something good happen. And then, I also PC Bobby Witt, he's gotten off to a slow start, although he just got his first hit of the season. He went 0 for 10 to start the year, but he just got his first hit in RBI in the first inning. And right now we're left looking at the Mavericks' chances. I think there are 3 games left. They're chasing essentially Oklahoma City. Now Oklahoma City owns the tiebreaker, so that means the Mavericks have to finish a game ahead of them. They can't finish tied. Oklahoma City plays the Warriors tonight out in San Francisco, so hopefully they can take care of business. Essentially, we can't lose anymore. Mavericks need to sweep the next 3 games at home. Oklahoma City is on the road for 2, and then they finish up at home, and they need to lose 2 out of 3. So the chances of that happening are probably not great. Anyway, we'll just see what the Mavericks end up doing with the draft pick. I mean, there's a chance they could get. There's a chance something crazy could happen, and they could get one of the top 3 or 4 picks, and that would be amazing. I mean, even if there's only a 3% chance that we could get the top pick, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens on ping pong ball night if we can't make this little run here at the end of the season. I think if we got in the play-in, who knows? But eventually, all this extra work we've been doing, all this defense we've been trying to play, it's going to cost us. We're going to be fatigued if we do, in fact, let's say, make the play-in, win both games, and then end up playing the Nuggets in the 8-1 seed. I don't know. Maybe it'd just be better for everyone just to cut to the chase, have the Mavericks get a pick, and move on. The Luka prices I've seen are starting to come down. I see more and more big-time Lukas coming to auction. I see more and more Lukas available on the Facebook groups. And, I mean, people have been saying for a long time that he had a lot baked into his prices, and they were right. But he did get to the Western Conference Finals last year. I don't think it's fair to necessarily think that just because they lost Brunson that they were not going to make the playoffs. I mean, Brunson's been a hell of a player. I admit that, and we blew it by letting him walk for nothing. But I think this kind of reminds me of the Jason Tatum situation that happened last season when the Celtics got bounced and Tatum played, less than championship basketball, and people were saying he's not the man, he's soft, he's this, he's that, and his prices took a big dip, and people were trying to get off of their Tatums. And now, I mean, you look around, everybody's saying Tatum's better than Luka, and if Tatum wins the championship, it's going to be like, he's going to be ahead of Luka. I doubt that highly. I think that, I mean, Tatum's good and he plays defense, but Luka's on another level. Let's just be honest. Plus, he's got the international support that's always going to make his stuff a little more desirable than just an American who's a high volume scorer. I mean, maybe Tatum, maybe he'll prove me wrong, but until he wins a championship, he's kind of just a souped up. He's not Kobe. Let me put it that way. I mean, who's to say he's any better than Shai Gilgeous at this point? I mean, really. And Shai Gilgeous's stuff is relatively dirt cheap. I mean, he had a little bump in the middle of the season, but I think one of those two teams, the Mavericks or the Thunder, is going to make the postseason. And so don't sleep on Shai. I mean, if he gets in and Oklahoma can make the 8-1 matchup against Denver, I don't see them doing anything. I don't see them beating the Nuggets, but he's also an exciting player that can be had for pennies. I'm getting off track here. Point is, if you have a big Luka, you better be prepared to hold it, because the prices they're coming down, and a lot of people don't think that this new floor that it's going to be set is going to be kind of where they stay. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but the days of the white sparkles going for $30K and the blue ice is doing $25K and the blues doing $18K, I think those days might be over. But he's 24. He plays in my city. I'm not giving up. Matter of fact, I'm looking for stuff to acquire. So that's kind of where I'm at with everything. I did pick up this cool Galactic Dirk. Shout out to Dirk for making the Hall of Fame. This Galactic is a case hit out of Revolution, and got a PSA 10 on it. Won that on PWCC for $100. You can't beat that. So that's just the type of thing I'm looking to add to my Dirk PC. I did see this. This is insane. 2009, 2010 Topps Chrome Dirk Superfractor. It's in the old school Facebook group, and the guy's basically, I don't know what he wants, but he turned down $11K already. So not from me, but that's a big card. Be a cool piece to add. I did offer my Joe Burrow championship ticket and a little bit of cash, and he quickly said, no thanks, not close. But hey, had to shoot my shot. Let's see what else is going on. Baseball's underway. I mentioned Bobby Witt getting off to a slow start. I had a trade that was possibly got kind of close, didn't end up happening, where I was going to trade a lot of my Witt stuff, and that Burrow champ ticket. It was going to be toward a Prism White Sparkle PSA 10 Luka rookie. So this was 2 weeks ago when the Mavericks' chances of making the playoffs looked a lot better. But that's a card. Those short print unnumbered parallels are getting hammered, and not just Luka's. A lot of guys. People want to see autos or they want to see numbers on the big cards, and if you can't show either one, then you're going to have a hard time justifying these high prices that those cards have been going for. The problem is they're so low pop that they don't come to auction often. But all it takes is one auction. I think the last White Sparkle Luka did $36K, and it was buy it now. The one before that in December, I think auctioned off for $30. And you can't always trust these big auction prices, even on places like Golden and PWCC. There are people out there protecting their cards and shill bidding the hell out of PWCC auctions and Golden and Alt and everywhere, eBay for sure. But I think if that card were to go back right now and a true auction were to happen, no shilling, I bet it would probably be cut in half. I bet it'd be doing well to get to 20. I bet it'd be sub 20. So um, you got to be careful out there with stuff, So make sure you make sure that you love the stuff that you're getting, so that when it takes a big shit, at least it's of a player that you like. That was someone's advice along the way to me. There's another thing I want to talk about too. The BGS thing happened. I think they did us all a favor by putting their egos aside and admitting for a second time now that they listened to us and decided to not move forward with a proposed rollout. The first time was at the National last year when they wanted to redesign their holders, and they reneged on that because we just thought the design was awful, to be honest. I'd love to see them redo their holder. I can't stand those. I can't stand these metal flips right here. Let's see. These. I don't like them. I think they would look better just as stickers, like PSA does it. They're not cut straight all the time on the bottom. They move around in there. I just don't like the metal strips. But and then anyway, the second time that they decided to listen to us and not move forward was recently when they were going to make the biggest problem I had with their grading proposed changes was that they were going to take stuff that they called Gem Mint, and it wasn't going to be Gem Mint anymore. It was going to be what was it, True Gem Plus? I don't know. It was going to be a step below, but essentially people were going to lose a lot of value. If you already had a 10, because there were going to be a lot more 10s, so those pop counts were going to go crazy. And then if you had a true gem, all 9.5s across, that was going to stay a 9.5. But if you had 110 in there, all of a sudden it's a 10. I don't know. It's a big mess. I'm glad they didn't do it. I think, though, that they're going to move forward with something. I think they feel like they've got to introduce a more attainable 10 to the market, because that's what PSA has. And I think the whole calling card for BGS this whole time has been that you don't have to be a 9 or a 10 like you do at PSA. You have a nice little sweet spot, a 9.5. And with the 4 subgrades, those 9.5s aren't all equal, which is even better, because you can have a, a min gem that has a 9 and the rest are 9.5s. You can have a min gem plus where it had 9, 2 9.5s and a 10. I mean, and the hobby sort of figures out, the hierarchy and the price, how to price that stuff. So maybe they could make it to where you don't have to have 3 10s, maybe 2 10s and 2 9.5s could get you a 10. I'd be happy with that. I think that's fair, but less is more, Beckett. Less is definitely more. And then finally, I want to talk about breakers, because there have been a lot of people poo-pooing on breakers lately. Okay, so it's everybody's favorite Geoff Wilson, the sports card investor, and shout out to Geoff. I'm not a fan of his at all. I think he's condescending, and I think that his takes are bad. And he just seems like the type of guy that people are like nice to his face, and then nobody likes him behind his back. I could be way wrong, but he did have a pretty good April Fool's video that he put out called "I Didn't Mean to Ruin the Hobby," where he actually makes fun of himself, and that kind of humor was good, and I thought that it was done well. And I left a comment. Usually I roast Geoff on his comments in YouTube, but I did leave a positive comment. I said something like, got to give credit where credit is due on this one. Good job, Geoff. But if you go through his comments, everybody in the comments is just like, it's an echo chamber of, oh my God, Geoff, I love you. Oh my God, you're so good for the hobby. And it just is, it's nauseating, to be quite honest. But I do watch everything that he puts out in a cringe binge, as silly as that might sound. I like to hate watch his stuff. But so he did a recent video, Breaker Scams Gone Wild, How to Fix Breaking. And he said one of the dumbest things I've ever heard him say, which is saying a lot. I guess, I think it was in this video. Yeah, I think it was yeah. It was some soccer product that had just recently come out, and one of the Black Finite cards got pulled of, I don't know soccer, but it was one of the big guys. It was a 4th year Black Finite. So it was a big card. It wasn't huge. And I guess it got pulled internationally somewhere the night of release. And Geoff was by a breaker. And Geoff was saying how that basically is going to ruin that product. And because that one big player's finite, like I said, it wasn't even a rookie. It was his 4th year. Got pulled, that people wouldn't be as motivated to buy that product. And I mean, for once, the two guys, Teapot and whoever the other guy is, kind of pushed back on that a little bit. We're like, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. But Geoff made the comment of, is there anything we can do to prevent that? And both of his cronies were like, prevent what, Geoff? Prevent like big hits from being pulled too early in products? Like, isn't that manipulation? Isn't that what we've been trying to fix? And how do we control where those big hits go to make sure they don't get pulled? Like, I don't know, maybe he was just talking and didn't think that through and just said it. But yeah, you don't hold back hits. When they get pulled, they get pulled, and hopefully that's the case. And when a big card like that gets pulled on the eve of release, or on the night of release, although it may be unfortunate, it is a good sign that maybe things are being done above board. So anyway, in this thread, I made the point that here we are. I made the point here. Somebody says, if breaking is the future, sports cards, the hobby is doomed. I think he meant to say, if breaking is the future of sports cards, the hobby is doomed. Let's think about that. If breaking is the future of sports cards, okay. So if we can't divvy up these high-priced products and open them, then the hobby is doomed. I don't think you're thinking through this, whoever this is. My response was, breaking is the lifeblood of the hobby. If you think it's bad for the hobby, you don't know how anything works in this hobby. Think about it. And somebody said to me, that's garbage. Think about it. They got their feelings hurt. What's garbage? So I said, breaking is, wait. Somebody else said, breaking is not the lifeblood of the hobby, just one avenue that some enjoy. It's really nutty, to be honest, just dumb gambling, and most breakers suck to watch. To which I replied, how do you think all these cards come to market? And that's my point. Breaking is the first level of the circle of life, or the food chain of the hobby. If you don't have breakers ripping all this high-priced product, none of these singles go to market. So you don't have any singles for the flippers to flip, for the collectors to buy, for the trade nights to happen, for people to trade, for shows to happen where people can fill up their cases from all these cards that have been, most of them, ripped in a break, sent off to grading, come back, purchased on the singles market, and then it feeds every other piece of the hobby. The repackers, like I said, the card shows, the guys that collect, the guys that buy singles to flip. I mean, breaking is where you break the soil, plant the seed, and then you harvest the crop. Without breaking, none of this happens, because most of these products are too high priced to have an individual alone pay for that product, pay to go get the singles graded, and then try to resell on the singles market. Like, we all can admit that opening wax is a losing proposition, right? I mean, I don't do it. I know a lot of people that don't do it. But if you split that risk up 30 times, right? If there's 30 teams in the NFL and, everybody has a team or two, then you're not the guy that's paying, $1,500 for a box of Prism, or, $800 for a box of Prism, whatever it is. And so tons of this product is rip, 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 rip. You grade it, comes back, you flip it, and then boom, it just keeps. That's the lifeblood of the hobby. Let's see. He responded to my comment, how do you think all these cards come to market? Well, duh, it needs to be opened first. I think he's referring to the mass breaking drama and high costs that it's caused. And I said, you think individuals are going to bust open all the high price product just to lose 80% of the money selling the singles? Drama is involved anytime money is involved. But if you think breaking doesn't play a vital role in today's hobby, you're living in la la land. And I stand by that. Yeah, anytime that you have money involved, people are going to get foolish and they're going to do stupid stuff. And there's no way you can prevent all of that from happening. I think in Geoff's video, he talks about, like Whatnot and some of these other platforms are really taking a hard stance on shenanigans. And it's like a one strike policy. If you get caught, or your company gets caught pulling some crap, then you're out. So you can't blame it on the new hire, right, that you just hired to come in and break. You better do your vetting, because if that guy decides to take the card he just pulled and move it off camera for 5 seconds, you might not be able to break anymore on that platform. So I think there are ways to clean it up, but to suggest that it's bad for the hobby, or to say that the hobby is doomed if breaking is the future, is just, you just don't understand what you're talking about. Bottom line, breaking will continue. Fanatics, I think, is going to be pushing breaking hard. They're going to be behind it. They're going to have probably their own platform in which they have people breaking their products. So maybe that will clean it up some, and it won't be so independent. It'll be more corporate, and we'll see where it takes us. But we need this product opened in a timely manner. We can't let it sit on shelves unopened, because that just bogs the whole marketplace down. And velocity of money and velocity of these cards, how fast they can go and change, is always healthy. Velocity is always healthy for any marketplace. So that's all I have. It's been a minute. I'm going to get with my friend Josh, and we're going to kind of do a series talking about his reentry. He's recently gotten back into the hobby a little bit. We're going to talk about that. We're going to juxtapose where he is with where I am, and just talk strategy and see where it takes us. But hopefully we'll be able to bust out our first episode tonight. I don't know if it'll go up tonight, but we'll see. But miss you guys. So it's good to get on here and say hello. A lot's been happening. The hobby's definitely live, like C Blood says. So until the next one, thanks for watching. See you then. Bye.